Patreon Q&A number 47. I want to thank all 64 of my incredible patrons. I'm so grateful for you guys. Honestly, it means more to me than you know. And I know that you guys can't always be there, and I know that you can only give so much, and you won't always be able to give anything at all. But the fact that you do give, regardless of how much or what it is, I'm so incredibly grateful for it. And I'm so lucky to have you guys in my life. So thank you so much. And I know that the channel has really sucked this week, and I'm sorry for that. I've just been dealing with something, but it's over now, and I'm going to get back up on the grind and give you guys the content that you deserve. So thank you again. And to everyone else listening, there's going to be some spoilers in these questions and answers, so tread carefully after this point. Austin J asks, "Hi Shonen, I continue to enjoy your manga reviews about One Punch Man, My Hero Academia, and Samurai 8. I'm still interested in Samurai 8 and enjoy being able to witness the beginning of what I hope will turn out to be a legendary story." Hey, thank you so much, Austin. I really do try with these reviews, and I know that they're not always the best, but I just hope that you guys do enjoy them, because I do try. It's not just me just crapping out something. I want to try to give you guys the best product that I can give, something that I would want to listen to myself. So your words of encouragement and the fact that you are enjoying them really means a lot, and so thank you. I will continue to try to get better with them. My question this time is about the Monster Association executives. If you had to, how would you rank them? Keep up the awesome work. So this is a great question. I'm going to have this as the title of the video. So I'm going to have the list right here. So I guess we can all kind of agree that number one is Black S. He's likely the strongest of all of them, especially considering what he can become in Golden S. But aside from that, I mean, he also, he can become Multi-S and stuff like that. But just his abilities, it's ridiculous. Like his multiplication that he could do, the malleableness, the pseudo-intangibleness that he has, he's insane. And it seems like even if he doesn't go into Golden S or Multi-S, he's still like the biggest threat of the executives. And he's also super powerful, super fast. It's really insane. Like, he's one of the most unique, if not the most unique. And I think it's fair to say that he's probably the strongest executive. Also, I'm just ranking them based off of strength, which I assume that you wanted. Number two, so let me also say that this is like a super subjective list. It's really difficult to accurately rank them all, because we all have different opinions and there is no official rankings to them. So if you don't have the same as me, I completely understand. Mine's isn't official any more than yours is. But number two, I have Overgrown Rover. So he had more, I guess, mystery backing him, since we saw exactly what happened between him and Saitama in the manga. There was that air of mystery to it in the webcomic, because we didn't see exactly what happened. But in the manga, it kind of makes it out that Saitama was intentionally holding back, because he saw Rover more like a dog rather than just a monster. And maybe that is the origin of Rover. But still, did take a punch from Saitama, lived to tell the tale. So that's pretty telling of him, and also his insane ability with the fire, plasma blast, whatever he could do. That's super significant, and also that he could just spam them. He can move super fast for his size. Pre-woke Garo literally could do nothing to him. Like, he said it was a full power attack that he gave to him. And he was like, sit, and it did nothing. He literally shook it off. Also, the fact that he was able to go against Bang and Bomb, them using the Crossfang Dragon Slayer fist after taking a punch from Saitama, which is noted that he was weakened when they encountered him. It's pretty telling of how insane this guy is, so I'm going to have him at number two. Evil Natural Water, he's insane too. He took a punch from Saitama, and maybe Saitama did have a killing intent behind that punch, because it was less ambiguous at that time. He also has the water streams. He fought like not all of them, but he fought multiple S-Class heroes at once, had no issues with them. It's really hard to take down this guy. You essentially need to vaporize him, similar to how you need to Black S, but even then it wasn't enough, and he just needed to be eaten by Pig God in the end to take care of him. So I think Evil Natural Water's number three. He's top three, regardless of where you want to put him. He's one of the strongest. 4. So this is where it gets really controversial, because after this point, it's really just who you consider to be stronger, in your own personal opinion. But at 4, just to be fair, I have Elder Centipede. Goketsu could be above him, even the other ones. But we have to remember that Elder Centipede has some pretty insane feats, and that no one really did well against him. Only Blast and Saitama. So that's pretty indicative of how insane he is, considering that only those 2 characters have had success against this guy. Bang and Bomb going all out only really cracked his carapace, and then he just came back from that. They literally just gave up because he was so insanely powerful. And from the draft of the comic, or I'm saying the draft of the manga that one turned in to Murata, we saw what Abandonment Bang was going to do against Elder Centipede, and all he could really do was direct the path that he was going in. He didn't really hurt him or anything. So it doesn't seem like even Abandonment Bang could have taken him down. So I think Elder Centipede's got to be around this level. Goketsu, I hold Goketsu in high regard. Love this guy. I think he's underrated, actually. He's insane. Just the speed that is implied for him to have, the strength, the skills. He's clearly one of the strongest monsters in the series, but he just doesn't have that it factor that the other executives have on this list. And also, he died by one punch from Saitama, so that's kind of holding him back. Fear Ugly. So I have him here because, he seems to be at least as fast as a Mind Mask, if not faster. And the strength is there too. And he also has a transformation. So that's why I'm just going to put him above these guys for now. Neon, has the speed, has the claws, has the crazy paper-thin ability. But other than that, we haven't really seen more from Neon yet. It also has that weakness against Puri Puri Prisoner, similar to how Mind Mask has the weakness against Fear Ugly. So we don't really have to hold him against him that much, but still is a weakness nonetheless. Homeless Emperor, ridiculously powerful, no doubt about it, but he is a glass cannon. And Gums seems to be the most restricted and limited of the executives. He doesn't have a transformation, at least as far as we know. Maybe he will have it in the manga, but he just seems to be like a tanky, eaty guy, like Pig God. So I guess we'll just put him at the bottom for now. Joseph K asks, hey Shonen, with regards to anime subs versus dubs, I found except in some extreme cases where the dub teams seem to have no clue. Whichever one I start with is the one I prefer. Have you ever had a case where you switched from one to another due to lack of quality? Or are there any anime you actually prefer as a dub, whether it's because you've grown up with the dub, so switching is not just feasible or anything like that? Peace, man. So yeah, definitely, this was more so when I was a kid. So like Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece. So the 4Kids dub on One Piece is legendarily bad. Some people say that killed One Piece in North America because it was so awful. It was dead on arrival and it never really had the chance to grow and prosper the way that Naruto and Bleach did. Not even going to compare it to Dragon Ball because that's way more accessible than those shows. But yeah, once I saw that, it was just awful. Even as a kid, I knew that it was just terrible and they weren't even trying. They were just kind of crapping it out to get it over with, I guess. Or maybe they were trying and they just, I don't know, weren't as good as they thought. But then switching over to the sub was like night and day difference. It was just so much better. Made the show way more enjoyable. Actually gave it some kind of substance. Same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! While the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dub 4Kids one wasn't as bad as the One Piece one, it was still lacking and very comical at times and not in a good way. But the sub, the Japanese version, much better. Same thing with One Piece. It actually gave emotional depth and substance to the series. And Joey, aka Jonochi, didn't have that weird Brooklyn accent, which we can enjoy ironically. But other than that, it's kind of annoying. I do like what Little Karibo does with it. But as for what dubs I think is better than the subs, Yu Yu Hakusho, hands down. One of the best dubs ever, in my opinion. It's just near perfect, so well done from start to finish. It really gives the characters a life of their own, if that kind of makes sense. Another dub that I really enjoy is the My Hero one. I think it's great. I think it's just as good as the sub, and if I could, I would just watch the dub, but you can't always get that way. Although I think sometimes they have the simul dub coming out with My Hero, but I think Funimation, regardless of how you feel about them as people, as professionals, they are excellent, and they are doing these series the justice that they deserve. Steven asks, Deg. I definitely butchered that, I'm sorry. If Luffy can beat Crocodile, do you think he'd have the same luck with Gaara or Sandman? Marvel? Take it easy, dude. So yeah, that's definitely what Luffy had with Crocodile, luck, because there was no way that Luffy should have been able to defeat that character at that part of the series, but the whole water thing that turned out to be lucky for him. So I don't know anything about Sandman from Marvel, so I can't put my 2 cents in on him, but I do know some stuff about Gaara, and I guess we're going to have to go off of Fourth War Gaara here, because that's more or less the peak of his power in Naruto. I don't really know much about Boruto Gaara or the latter movies of Gaara. I know that he has some kind of feat stopping meteors, but I don't really know too much about it, so I don't want to talk about it that much, but... So I think, and we're also going to have to go off of current Luffy. So I think that this fight would be super competitive. It wouldn't be like a stomping from one side or the other. And I'm not going to even put water into this equation because I don't think it matters with Gaara, although I could be wrong. But so we know that Gaara is like stationary in his attack, but he does have like the sand working for him, which is super fast. It's not really slow at all, and it's very powerful. We saw his feats in the Fourth War, how he was able to compete with those ultra powerful characters, like Madara, the Kazekage. So he can compete with fast characters, but it all really depends on, is Luffy faster than him? So I think in a conventional sense he is, especially when he goes Gear 4th, especially Snake Man. But is Luffy's observation haki, which is at a very high level now, can that be enough to just nullify Gaara's sand attack? And I'm unsure about that. Because we know that Gaara has many ways of taking down Luffy. He could suffocate him, he could get inside of his blood, and he could just straight up just take him out in the old conventional sense with just offensive attacks from his sand. But then again, Luffy is Luffy. He's super fast, super powerful, has the haki, has the gears. And I think Luffy's overall strength output is comparable to what Gaara had dealt with in the Fourth War. Of course, it's debatable, but it's difficult to say who would win this. And I think if I say Luffy would win, you're probably just gonna say, well, not you, Steven, but other people listening. We'll just say that I'm a One Piece stan or whatever. But I do like series. I love both of these series. I love Naruto and One Piece. I love all the characters within them. But just off the top of my head. I do think it would be competitive, and it probably ultimately comes down to who you feel would win. I don't think there's a clear-cut answer here, but I just think like something like Snake Man would be a little too much for Gaara. Just taking a guess here. 4 asks, yo dude, new patron. I've been following you since your old YouTube account. Disregard the name, but you can just call me 4. Hey, thanks, man. That's it really means a lot that you've been around this long through all my ups and downs. And then you decide to become a patron, so thank you so much. I appreciate it. What hero level / monster level do you think these guys would be? Yusuke end of series. So I think he's above Dragon. In the manga, Genkai says that he could probably destroy the Earth. You could take that as literal as you want. It's probably true. Maybe if he shot like a full-powered spirit gun with all of his power, maybe he could nuke the planet. So that could put him around Boros' level, possibly. But in my opinion, it's hard to gauge Yusuke's strength in the final arc because he doesn't really have like a lot of defining feats the way that he did in the previous arc when he was going against Sensui. But, we can only assume that he's much more powerful than he was against Sensui, and they were, like, doing DBZ stuff in their fight. So I guess he's got to be around Boros' level, just taking a guess, especially since he was able to compete with Yomi, who is essentially as strong as you can get, aside from the other ambiguous S-class demons that we see at the end of the series, too. So I think it's fair to say that at the minimum, end of series Yusuke is above Dragon. Leaning towards God level. Luffy right now, I would say he's like high demon, dragon, possibly. I mean, he's what we saw him do in Dressrosa is pretty impressive, and that was more or less the peak of him. But then when we saw him go against Katakuri, he took it to the next level. And just going off of his destruction and like his speed and stuff like that. So, you know, maybe a low dragon, possibly. I'm sure once we see him back in action, you know, after he gets over all of the Udon stuff and he recovers from what he's going through right now, and try not to get too much into spoiler stuff, but I'm sure he will show that he's like low dragon, possibly in power. He's pretty insane right now. Midoriya, which you said for Midoriya, I'd put him at hero rank A class. He would be lower than Atomic Samurai students, but that's it. I'm not sure how far you are into My Hero right now, so just to be safe, I won't spoil anything, but I will say that the last time that we saw Midoriya in the previous arc, he was pretty insane. I mean, he's got to be like demon level, right? He's super fast, super powerful, and has, you know, a multitude of attacks and things that he can do, which seem to be certainly on the level of what we have seen of demons. So if he is demon, that means he's like at least S-class, fringe S-class. I personally think that he's stronger than E-Iron, Bushido, and Okama-Itachi. He seems to be faster and physically stronger than them. And if you think otherwise, I understand. It's totally understandable. But man, Midoriya, I think people might be sleeping on him, especially in crossover battles. I just think he's probably like demon, low demon, mid demon right now. He's no joke. But as for Krillin, so Krillin, he doesn't have the feats to support the claims of his power, but just going off of the power creep of Dragon Ball Z and Super, you know, people will argue until the end of time that they're so-and-so, this powerful, that powerful, just because of the power of the other characters and due to time and progression, like I said, power creep. Based off all that, you know, Krillin, he'd have to be like disaster level god, right? Because in theory, he would be a planet buster at the minimum, right? So I guess he's got to be god. Zuel asks, yo, Shonen, how are you doing? I'll start with a question about the martial artists of One Punch Man again. My first question, if you pair up Suiburyu with Garo versus Bang and Goketsu, no monster form, who would win? Also, all these martial artists are at their peak in this battle. So if you mean Garo at his peak, which would definitely be Awakened Garo, this is an easy fight for him. Just by himself, he could take down Bang and Goketsu, even if Goketsu was in his monster form, at least in my opinion. But if we're going off of peak non-Awakened Garo, I guess that would be the pre-woke Garo that we saw, backhand Golden S, which he's ridiculous at that point. And then peak Bang, I mean, Bang's always really at his peak, but I'm not going to say that you're saying his prime when he's 30 years old. It's hard to gauge this, so I'll just say, Bang, when we see him in the war, I guess he would have to go Abandonment if he was going to take down pre-woke Garo at that point, because he's insane. The feats that he had were pretty damn impressive. And Suiburyu, I guess just to save some time, we could just scale him to human Goketsu. It's hard to say how strong Goketsu was as a human. So we'll just say that he's around Suiburyu level. So that would be more or less even. And it would ultimately come down to the pre-woke Garo that fought Golden S before he became Awakened versus Bang, probably using the Abandonment. Man. I guess Bang maybe would be able to take him down. Maybe. Just because of the skill factor and the fact that he knows about Garo. So it would more or less be like a heightened version of him taking on the end of Hero Hunter Garo, possibly. Although, man, Garo is so insane at this point. It's hard to tell. So I'll just say that super high difficulty for either end here, but just to be fair, given the evidence that we have, I guess I'll say Bang would win, but he would be like the last man standing. I guess Suiburyu and Human Goketsu would take each other out, possibly, but it could go either way. Okay, so my second question is, I don't know if you watched Seven Deadly Sins, but what disaster level / rank in the Hero Association would Meliodas in his Demon King form get, and why? Anyway, thank you for the vids. They never get boring. See ya. Hey, thanks, Zuel. Appreciate that, my friend. So, unfortunately, I don't watch the Seven Deadly Sins. I don't really know much about it. So I don't know how strong Meliodas is or in his Demon King form, but I can say this. So if Meliodas in his Demon King form is as strong as Escanor or stronger than him, then they're going to be, High Dragon at the minimum, going possibly to God. I don't know if these characters are Planet Busters. You would know that, but if they are, then they're God level. But if it's ambiguous, if they are Planet Busters, just going off of Escanor's strength, he's pretty ridiculous. The abilities that he has. I've seen his feats and stuff, and they're pretty damn cool. And it struck me as like fringe above dragon stuff. Definitely high dragon. So if Meliodas is above him, then I think you know where to put him at that point. And going off of that, they would be in the top 5 of the S class. Around there with Tatsumaki and Blast possibly. I'm not sure how fast they are, so if you want to put them above Flashy Flash, it's up to you. But man, yeah. Just going off of Escanor, really. So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank all 64 of my amazing patrons, guys. I am so grateful for everything that you do for me. Thank you so much for continuing to stick by me, and I will give you guys the content that you deserve, like I said, from this point on. So I'm going to get back on that grind, and I hope that you guys, can do well in your own endeavors as well from this point on. I really do mean that, guys. If you would like to be in next week's Q&A, simply check out Patreon. $5 tier will give you access to it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.